it would have been a completely whole different situation if Justice Nazlan found Najib not guilty of all charges and the prosecution appealed, go to the level to the appeals court, and the appeals court, all three judges uphold the decision of Justice Nazlan to acquit Najib, who says there's no case still, and prosecution again appealed to the federal court to get the conviction, and then Najib's defense counsel was not given time, and if it is true that Najib was left without a defense and without representation, court unnecessarily rushed the case, and then federal court overturned the decision of the Court of Appeal and convicted Najib to prison. Now, if that was the case, then that Sabah Sarawak Chief Justice, the leader of the bench, punya decision is that since dia rasa tak betul the way it was presided at the federal court, then he says the remedy should be to acquit Najib of all charges and set him free. That would make sense. That would be a connection, because Najib was innocent at the high court level, not a convict, and then appeal je pasal go to the appeals court, also not a convict, but then convicted for the first time at the federal court, and federal court did not give ample opportunity to Najib's defense counsel to make their presentation, to put forth their case, and summarily decided that Najib is guilty and sent him to prison. Then this dissenting judge ruling saying that Najib should be acquitted will make sense, because it's because of the flaw of the federal court, the alleged flaw that made Najib guilty, which otherwise he may not have been guilty. You can go to that extent, but if you ask me what is fair, is to say there should be another federal court trial to try for prosecution to appeal and to be heard, and the defense to again defend properly, enough time, and give every opportunity to Najib to adduce whatever evidence, because the earlier two courts found him not guilty. Then it fits. Then it doesn't become bizarre. But in this particular case, the converse is true. At the High Court, he was convicted of all 7 charges. Went to appeal. All 3 judges found him guilty on all 7 counts. 4 judges found him guilty. Thereafter, it went to federal court. 5 judges upheld, and therefore altogether 9 judges found him guilty. And if this dissenting judge Rahman Sebil ni decided that federal court tu tak betul, maknanya the 5 judges to rush things and therefore did not give ample opportunity, then how come that negates whatever the earlier judges have found? They went through lengthy court process, deliberated, everything is taken. In other words, is he convinced at that level where he is supposed to only look at the technicalities, the judicial review, to look at the technicality of how the federal court is run, was presided, Tengku Maimun punya bench, but he can summarily decide that the conviction by Justice Nazlan and the upholding of that conviction by the 3 appeals court judges is negated now, simply because Tengku Maimun's bench allegedly did not give Najib justice. So therefore it undo all the convictions earlier. That is rubbish. That is preposterous. That would be a travesty of justice. And because of this coming from a Chief Justice of the East Malaysia, so unbecoming, I find it a bit difficult to believe that is sheer competency. As some people have already suggested, that judge needs to be investigated. That judge needs to have a thorough background check, and what is his inexplicable lineage and gravity towards Najib, and and believing that does he believe after the High Court and the Appeals Court found Najib guilty, and even the Federal Court earlier found him guilty, all judges found him guilty, he alone believed that Najib is not guilty. Has he been following the case? Does he know the facts of the case to even suggest that Najib should be acquitted of all charges? Again, very bizarre, very suspicious. And if I am the government, I do a thorough background check. I check this person. I will send all my agencies to thoroughly check this judge, because something stinks. Something is fishy. Something is, it is very unsettling. This is, the more I think about it, the more I'm perturbed, the more I'm worried for the nation, and the more I'm worried that we have one Chief Justice that will be, this Chief Justice, this dissenting judge, will be presiding over other cases. And if this kind of warped logic creeps into all his other rulings, then God save Malaysia.